Dean Training and Placement, ASTHA School of Management, Professor Jinasis Mohanty. Accomplished academician and the placement professional, currently serves as the Dean Training and Placement of ASTHA School of Management with extensive experience in student development, industry engagement, and professional training. He is actively contributing towards enhancing employability and career readiness among students. Let's have a big round of applause for Professor Jinasis Mohanty, sir. And the particular resource person of this podcast session is a very well-known face. Dr. Mangesh Das, the Managing Director of CHDNLR, Mumbai. Dr. Mangesh Das is a distinguished professional, leadership mentor, and an expert in neuro-linguistic programming and human development. Let's have a huge round of applause for Dr. Mangesh Das, the Managing Director of CHDNLR, Mumbai. I think we should give a very big round of applause. With this, I would like to hand over the session to Professor Jinasis Mohanty for the further proceedings. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Thank you so much, Professor Ananya. Good afternoon, everybody. With the permission of Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Amay Kumar Rath, would like to start this particular podcast, whose theme is role of neuro-linguistic programming, that is NLP. And I warmly welcome Dr. RKS Mangesh Das,
Thank you so much.
Managing Director of CHDNLR, Mumbai. When you talk about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, as an academician, what comes to my mind is you are programmed for something. The theme of this 2 days conclave talks about sustainable education towards Samruddh Odisha and Viksit Bharat, role of BPUT. Why such theme? Because yes, the noted academicians, the stalwarts might have noticed there is huge gap between industry and academia. Gap of skill gap. Now, when you're talking about this skill gap between industry expectation and students' aspiration, it may be the gaps like we normally put these gaps in 3 ways. We call it 3C capsule. The first C stands for communication, the second C stands for content, and the third C stands for confidence. So we used to say any student, be an engineering graduate or a management graduate, if anybody is able to communicate his or her content with confidence, then I think the probability of getting a job increases by 80%. That is what a dialogue we have developed and we used to tell our students. Now, talking about this 3C capsule, communication, content, and confidence, where our students are hugely lagging behind. The question is, are our students under BPUT programmed to be confident? Are students under BPUT are programmed to be communicative? Are the students under BPUT are programmed to be successful? I mean, if there could be something like this, where students can be programmed to such level for success, programmed for success, programmed for progress, programmed for development, programmed for growth, then I think that will be a very smart tool in the hands of students of BPUT so that they achieve or they accomplish their goals and objectives in their life. In this context, we have the neuro-linguistic programming expert in the shape of Dr. Mangesh Das, who is going to share his valuable thought process to a few number of questions which I'll be asking to you, sir, during this podcast. So I just tried to set the context of this
That's
particular
wonderful.
podcast. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, we all know that you are a reputed management consultant, corporate trainer, leadership coach, speaker, and professor associated with domains of human behavior, design thinking, and human resource management. You have also led a business school and served on the advisory boards of several leading institutions. From your extensive experience, please explain. I'll go with the basic, then the other things will follow. Please explain what neuro-linguistic programming NLP is and why do you believe it is highly essential for today's students? Please, sir.
That's an amazing question, and what we will be making this discussion, we will make interactive. So certain questions, certain actions I would like you to do so that this makes a lot of meaning. This question is very prominent today. What is NLP and why is it relevant at today's context in this BPUT event? Question number one, what is NLP? You know, till now, when we speak about NLP, people connect it to the NLP of AI. They say this is natural language processing. However, we speak about NLP as neuro-linguistic programming.
Right.
This is very interesting. Although like natural language processing, NLP also works in a similar way. So when we say neuro-linguistic programming, this simply says, how can we program our brain by communication, by talking, so that the neural system of our own mechanism that drives us towards success and success only. That's why starting from cricket players to big corporate leaders, to political leaders, if you closely observe, to spiritual leaders even, if you closely observe, in their communication pattern, performance pattern, there are a lot of elements of neuro-linguistic programming. Let me ask you a question, since you are from different business schools here and different professional institutes. Has it ever happened that we have trained our students to behave in a particular way in job interview, but the student does not behave in that way in the job interview? Has it ever happened? They behave differently. Can I get a yes for raising your hands? Yes. So I see so many hands are being raised. That means a behavioral correction is not enough if the correction does not happen in the mindset level. For any behavior, you might have seen, all of us know that we should not jump a red light. But in situations where we are not observed, sometimes we jump. Because the behavior is mapped, but mindset is not mapped. Because mindset is mapped by something which is called as a brain driver. If your brain will not drive you towards certain thing, you will not do. You might have seen when people they do any action which should not have been done, although they are being trained not to do, you will find the brain creates a driver to make them do that. That's why to become successful, if you want to display a behavior, that behavior needs to be a mental model which is called as a driver towards success. And what NLP does very easily, that is able to create a driver in the brain that compels you, impels you, motivates you, and propels you to do whatever you want to do. And that's where many successful people, with the use of the element of NLP, they become very successful. That's first part. Second part, to explain you NLP, I will request Asif sir is there? Asif sir? Asif
yes,
sir?
Asif sir, there at the
Can you
back.
show a slide? There is a slide on the screen. I want all of you to remember as many words as you can, but you will not note it down anywhere, neither you will take a click of it. Just remember, I give you some time. Remember as many words as possible. You have to remember. You will not write. Okay? Hope it's a good time you might have remembered. So Asif sir, can you take the slide off? Can you tell me, one of you, can you volunteer and tell me what are the words did you see? Any one of you? Can you volunteer? Yes.
Yes, sir.
And all of you listen to sir carefully. Yes. Apple, cat, trees. Yes. Oh, no prompting.
Can you give a microphone? Yeah.
No prompting. Okay. Fantastic. Did you see how many words? 5 plus 1, 6. Now, one more volunteer. You have to tell me what are the words you remember. So, who will volunteer now? Someone? So many of you? Yes. And Rasmi sir, be louder. Please say.
And we are going to give you that microphone to be louder.
Yeah, so that all of us can hear.
I have to say the words.
Yes, whatever words you remember.
Yeah, cat, book, hammer, office, and fish, sky. That's it. I don't
Fantastic.
remember.
7.
Thank you so much. Be seated. You might have seen, can you show that slide once again? There are 20 words, right? But when you took the data and tried to produce the data, the brain did not tell you more than 6 to 7 words. Because your conscious part of the brain that takes information in chunks, and there is a rule which is given by one of the Harvard professor that is called as 7 plus minus 2. That means one of the nature of brain is to delete information. Now what happens? If the delete information, what the brain receives is in the shape of plus minus 5, 7 plus minus 2. What is 7 minus 2? 5. What is 7 plus 2? 9. So if brain has the power to receive that, and me as a teacher, if I'm teaching an information which is beyond that, students will forget everything even during the session. Not everything, which is beyond this limit, students will forget. Similarly, in our life, we do a lot of learnings that does not become relatively permanent because the learning doesn't match with the way the brain receives information. Similarly, one is called delete, second is called distortion, third is called generalization. If one mistake happens, suppose I am not able to study properly in one subject, sometimes I say this career is bad. Because human being, another nature of brain is, it generalizes things from one experience. One good experience tells you everything is good, one bad experience tells you everything is bad. Now with NLP, what we do, we actually utilize this property of the brain to make things that works the best for you. The second question is, what is the relevance of this today that we are discussing in this platform? I have a model, and we have utilized it in many colleges, and we have seen the success rate becoming really, really visible and remarkable. The model is called MBA. You know what is the full form of MBA?
Master in Business Administration.
Fantastic, sir.
No, I'm sorry.
That's fantastic. That's definitely a full form. The full form we talk about is called as Mana, Buddhi, and Acharana. You will find most of the time when we prepare students for placements, we say, this is the knowledge, this is how you will behave. We say, if you are entering the room, you have to knock, you have to do ABCDF. If you are sitting, talking, so this is what you got to do. But Buddhi and Acharana, that will give you a framework that may not give you a guarantee that you will actually do that Buddhi and that Acharana to be displayed. Because your brain, mana, is not still programmed. That's why NLP is a wonderful science which can be done very easily just by communication. You can reprogram your brain that will drive you completely towards success. That's what is NLP, sir.
That's very, very nice of you, sir. That's really wonderful. Let's have a round of applause for Dr. R.K.S. Mangesh Das, esteemed Managing Director of CHDNLR Mumbai, for explaining what is neuro-linguistic programming and how is it essential for today's students. And the way you defined MBA, Mana, Buddhi, Achara, thank God you did not say Mal Bech Ke Aao, MBA. But yes, the students, if they can focus on these three things, Mana, Buddhi, and Achara, and I think then they can definitely be programmed for success, and they can create the driver in their mind. So essentially you are saying NLP is nothing but a behavioral modification or behavioral correction in the mindset. That is how you would like to put it, because the gap, you train the student, but that is not reflecting in the interview. Then if this behavioral correction can take place in his or mindset, then I think the student is programmed for the desired success. Thank you so much, sir. My second question would be like this, sir. This is more relevant to this particular conclave organized by BPUT in association with Odisha Management College Association, that is OMCA. Biju Patnaik University of Technology, BPUT, widely known as a pride of Odisha, has its vision statements like, I request Asif sir if you can display the slide on the screen please, has its vision statements like to be world-class brand name for providing technical manpower needed in industry and academia, to create wealth and prosperity in the society through application of technical knowledge. So these are the vision statements of the university. That's the reason for which Honorable Vice Chancellor sir was stressing on application of knowledge during his welcome address yesterday. Similarly, BPUT has its mission to facilitate making the places of teaching intellectually stimulating and emotionally pleasurable for the students and faculty, to ensure proficiency in students in their domain of study as well in soft skills, that is IT and communicative English, and to establish world-class centers in higher studies and research. So these are the mission statements of the esteemed university. And I was witnessing yesterday only, you being the MD of CHDNLR, exchanged a memorandum of understanding with the esteemed registrar, Madam of BPUT. So when the university has this kind of vision statements and mission statements, in that sphere, when this MOU is being exchanged between CHDNLR and BPUT, please elaborate in detail. How does this MOU help the university to accomplish its vision and mission? Please,
Thank you for this question. In fact, when yesterday I was hearing Dr. Amiya Kumar Rath sir, he was telling about how BPUT became so progressive and how things have been happening in just in time. एक शायरी मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा था, so I would think of saying that now. This is called ना पैर थके ना हिम्मत हारी, ना पैर थके ना हिम्मत हारी, अब की बार BPUT सब पे भारी. So my dear friends, you know, when I heard that, what I say is that I interacted with sir again after a couple of years. I interacted with Sip Kumar sir,
yes,
and I also interacted with Vikram sir. I interacted with the registrar ma'am, and I interacted some of the officials. What I really felt, even before that, Bankim sir had told me how university is progressing. And what I realized is that this university has got exactly the right frame of positive climate and the positive environment. If anything good is to be done for the students, this is the best time from here we can extrapolate to the future to make processes sustainable. Therefore, when the MOU got exchanged, I know that all the institutes, the affiliating colleges can take benefit out of it. And NLP, if any one of you go and do a course outside, this is very costly. I have burnt a couple of lakh of rupees to do courses on NLP. But with BPUT, the way it will be done, it will be easily accessible, it will be easily affordable, and it will be on continuous support. We will be there to support you continuously. Before we came to BPUT, we actually had a prototype already successfully running in ASTHA School of Management. This journey actually became before 4 to 5 years. When Bankim sir and Jinasis sir, they were in Bombay, we were discussing about, this is such a brilliant science, how can students of Odisha be benefited? Sir told, sir, before we think about Odisha, can we have a prototype? And can we see how successful it is?
Sir, you were hinting at Super 40?
Super 40.
Okay, sir.
So when I told, okay, sir, I want to run it for your students, he told, let us make a batch named as Super 40. So we created a batch of 40 students, and it was like a control group and an experiment group. So with the control group and the experiment group, actually we give NLP. And their teaching pattern, how they will study the course, the complete MBA course, how they will go for the intensive, how they are going to approach the intensive, how they will come back, how they will prepare themselves and ultimately job and after that the career. And what we observed for last continuous couple of years, these students who have been employed with the technique of NLP, they are actually doing very good. And this has made us hopeful and positive that if now we want to take it to a bigger scale, who can be a better support than BPUT? And for that, we approached complete the knowledge gamut of BPUT. The process was under evaluation. And I'm very thankful to God and to the concept of progressive Orissa, Samruddh Orissa, Viksit Bharat, that we are now stepping the stone and we will do it. And second, how this can be actually operated, we will request if a center of excellence can be done in BPUT, and also that can be extrapolated to other colleges. And we will be actually talking about neuroscience, application of neuroscience, NLP, as well as research in behavioral science. So there will be opportunity for faculty members to undergo FDP so that they can be self-sufficient to run this course. Or even we can have batches of students, we can train them. We can also support them in research. If any of the, because our company name, if you look at here, CHDNLR, the word R is called as research. Till now, none of the companies in the world have supported NLP research. They have all supported NLP application. We first came up as NLP research. We said, no, there has to be research literatures backed up that. And you will be very happy to know there are already 2 persons who have been published or those have been getting, they got awarded with PhD with NLP under our guidance. And there are 5 head of HR, like VPs, like director HRs, director countries. So they are actually doing their PhD in NLP, application in marketing, application in finance, application in OD, organizational development in HR in various aspects. And we would be very happy if any mechanism can be developed where we will promote research, student development, and a complete development of that developmental ecosystem. So that's it what, sir, is our proposition.
So that is what the proposition with which you have come forward, that MOU exchange.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. And I am sure since Honorable VC sir physically present here, himself listening to you and the entire intellectual gamut of the university, so they will take the appropriate call in this regard. Thank you so much for elaborating the essence of the MOU which got signed yesterday between CHDNLR and BPUT. So my next question would be like this. Today's students are learning technical and functional knowledge rapidly because of the support of artificial intelligence and other digital technologies. So that's the reason for which information is actually is becoming more accessible than before. With your experience in NLP for more than 3 decades, what have you observed that NLP can help students achieve, which many conventional methods often take much longer time to develop?
Wonderful.
Because, sir, normally in institutes, we do mock GD sessions, we do mock interviews, even we prepare students, we try to help them to augment their business knowledge by the help of BR sessions. So we do all these sessions in our institute, and all the institute under BPUT must be doing it. But since you're talking about that, yes, NLP can help, or NLP can expedite the process of students becoming industry ready or job ready. So it is better than the conventional method. If at all it is, please explain how it is.
Wonderful. This question is very valid at this juncture. Let us do an exercise together, okay? Can I request all of you to show me these 2 palms like this? Just do it like this, all of you. Then with 1 palm, just show me 2 fingers. And with the other palm, show me 3 fingers, okay? Now we will exchange this, we will change this, like we will show 3 fingers here and 2 fingers here. Can you change that? Let us do it quickly. Yes, all of you?
You mean to say 2, 3,
Yeah,
3, 2?
alternate.
Okay. 2,
Can you
3,
do it
3.
quickly like this? Yes. Can you do it quickly? You see, there is difficulties, right? I don't know what finger is being shown, but that becomes difficulties. But you know what happens? When I ask you, this is, what does it indicate? This is called victory, right? When I saw this, I said, this is okay. So now what you got to do, you got to alternatively show me victory and okay. Like that you got to tell.
So let me also try, sir.
Yes. So can you do it, all of you, alternatively? Okay. Yes, please do it faster.
Okay.
Quicker, faster, yes. Fantastic.
I mean, still minds take some time to get programmed.
And you might have seen this time when I asked you to show, I observed many of you could do it. Because first I asked you to copy a behavior. I told this is 2 finger, this 3 finger, just copy and do that. Brain does not process it. So what happens? Brain just takes it and does it. Our whole old habits stop that formation. But when I took you from the behavior to a thinking, a programming of the mind, I told this is not a 2 finger, 3 finger exercise. Rather, this is something, an okay and a victory. Brain takes it. Similarly, when students, they study any course, they take time to successful because their old habits does not allow them to take the new information very fast. I give you an example. I have developed many students for the placements. When I go to a class, I say, why don't you dress up like professionals? Why don't you talk like professionals? Why don't you behave like professionals? Generally, the response I get it, sir, ete varsha hala ame emiti karchu hata change hei pariboni. That means the way the behavior they are carrying, they still display that. When corporates come, so students in institutes, they behave like students. They do not behave like executives. But when corporates come, they do not want to take students, they want to take executives. So is there a faster method by which the old habits can be diluted? Because in NLP, there are techniques where habits can be diluted and new habits can be generated at a very quicker pace. And that's where NLP comes to existence. So that's why students, it is an amazing thing they must learn, because we have already seen this becoming successful.
Sir, your words remind me one particular incident in the history. I think this August gathering must be aware of. When King Puru was brought before Emperor Alexander, then he asked King Puru, what kind of treatment you are expecting? Then King Puru has said that I want the treatment the way king should be treated. So Alexander was very famous and he freed him. The point here, after listening to you, I'm trying to establish that a student, if he really wants to join a corporate house for a particular position, be it in any of the domains, whether it is human resource or whether it is finance or marketing, he or she should start believing that he has already become that manager. That is the reason for which it is said that if you are planning to join an institution or organization as a management trainee operation, then you start believing that you have already become that management trainee operation. If you are going to join a company as an HR manager, you believe that you have already become HR manager. That kind of belief, I think NLP creates that kind of belief, make the students more comfortable with that particular position. Then if that is happening, because no corporate house recruits any student. Suppose the name of a student is Ramesh. So Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail, Pantaloons brand will come and Pantaloons will never recruit student Ramesh. But Pantaloons would like to recruit the DM Ramesh. DM stands for Department Manager Ramesh. Then student Ramesh, while doing his program under BPUT, if he can start believing that he has already become that manager Ramesh, then it is very easy for Ramesh to get that particular job at Pantaloons. Pantaloons, just for an example I am narrating. It could be any company, it could be ICICI Bank, or it could be Axis Bank, or it could be Flipkart, or it could be SDB Finance, any company. So that is why, sir, you said that the kind of behavioral modification, the change in the mindset by the game which you try to do, that V for victory and then its OK symbol, then it helps to, the brain easily accepts it and it helps us to behave in the proper way, because it is very difficult to copy a particular behavior. In that way, if students can, instead of copying certain things, if you can then internalize those traits to become a manager, I believe they can become a manager or a technocrat. I believe they can become easily that manager or that technocrat. Thank you so much, sir. My next question would be like this. There are number of engineering colleges, management institutes and pharma colleges under BPUT, which is a pride of Odisha. Students from all these colleges either join a company of national and international repute or begin their startup ventures as observed from the BPUT Success Stories Awards of the conclave. Yesterday we witnessed 4 of the BPUT alumni, they received BPUT Success Stories Awards from Honorable Minister in the presence of esteemed Vice Chancellor. So it can be said that either a student is a job seeker or a job creator. So there are 2 categories of students. My question is, sir, does NLP help both these categories of students in the same fashion or differently?
Fantastic. This also I would like to answer with an exercise to all of you. Can all of you for a moment do an exercise with me? For a moment, can you close your eyes and with the help of your right hand index finger, please show me wherever you see Australia is. Just show me with the help of your right hand index finger. Close your eyes and show me, raise your finger and show me Australia, you can see it here. And keep your hands raised for a moment. Just do that and keep your hands raised for a moment. And now you can open your eyes and look at everybody's finger movement, the directions it has been shown. If you look at the directions, some of you have shown Australia is there, some of you have shown Australia is here, some of you have shown Australia is there, some of you have shown the skies, okay? But believe me, Australia को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, उसको जहाँ पे होना है वहीं पे है. So what I say about, there are 2 different type of realities. One is the actual reality, another is the reality we create in our brain. Now we actually perform as per the realities we create in our brain. Similarly, whether somebody becomes an entrepreneur with the course or somebody is preparing to get the job, the question is what reality the person sees. Today you have seen lot of startups, they are being registered, but they do not sustain for 1,000 days. That is why one method which is being told, if an organization sustains for 1,000 days, the startup can actually take up from there. And yesterday Amiya Sora was telling something very interesting. India has produced so many unicorns, you know, and decacorns, so like that it is going ahead. But what I talk about is your brain seeing that reality? And there is mechanism for you to make the brain see the reality. The moment the brain sees the reality, it will then start reading. And NLP, it actually helps a lot. Because if you have seen the economic progress of our country, earlier what happens, there was agrarian economy, right? Then a phase came up, it is industrial economy. Then they say it is service economy. Then they say it is experiential economy. Today the economy is mostly exponential economy. You will find organizations who create something bigger, they just grow 10x, 15x. On 11th of March, I was in Delhi talking to a company, which is a conglomerate. I was talking to their HR head. I said, when I entered their organization, what I saw, companies have their vision statement, mission statements. They are similarly printed out. But somewhere I saw, everybody should have a mindset. And the first thing is written, and this is a company which engages a lot of Gen Zs. If your MBA pass out, you can go and join there. I saw one of the statements they have written, which every employee should have in their mind, is called EBITDA. They say an employee joins means the employee should think about the EBITDA in the organization. Believe me, I have not seen many companies, they actually even motivate their employees to think about EBITDA. Second point was thinking about top funnel. How in the business, how the top funnel will be heavy because then the mechanism will take them. Third, they say driver of growth. When I saw these points, I asked him, what do you expect youngsters joining your company should do? He says today, competency can be developed very easily. If there is a machine, people should know, bring that person, and the competency will be developed. But mindset development, if it's not there, person does not think like, Moonstar, then things will not happen. That's why if you think, companies are hiring people who can think in a big way, that exponential, and that's called as a moonshot thinking. Today, I tell you, in most of the organizations where earlier we are doing training on leadership, motivations, today we have done training program with many organizations on moonshot thinking. They say when the economy is war, today the economy is W for war, O for oil, R for rain, another R for rupee. The economy is struggling there. They say when somebody we want to hire, they can actually be successful there, they should think moonshot. And moonshot thinking is one of the training programs many corporates want, and they want students also to think like that. So that's why my suggestion, whether an entrepreneur or an executive going to be thinking, quality thinking matters a lot. That even yesterday in the podcast, sir has also spoken about. It's the mindset that matters. Thank you, sir.
So, sir, this moonshot thinking would like to know more about this moonshot thinking, and if you can put this kind of thinking among our students, whether planning to become an entrepreneur or planning to do a job, NLP can definitely help him or her to achieve his goals or objectives. That's what you are trying to tell us. So can you just give another example of moonshot thinking, if you don't mind?
Today, if you look at organizations, they are creating prototypes which can transform the business 5x, 10x, even beyond 10x.
Yes, sir.
They say there is a thinking called as incremental thinking. If I make incremental thinking of 10%, after a year, I might, 10% is very, very less. So to grow 10x, it will take me years. Therefore, look at the products which are coming. During COVID time, if you have ever browsed any of the online e-commerce websites, you will see there are many products which people have not thought of, but they have become million-dollar industries. So that's why moonshot thinking is thinking beyond whatever has been thought now and whatever is thought to be impossible. If you say, when we do exercises, we say think whatever is impossible. And the complete exercise happens in a studio format. People write, this is impossible. When they come up to the end, they say this is possible and this is how it can be implemented.
Oh, that's great.
That's what.
Oh, that's great. That's good. This is a very absolute new technique, moonshot thinking. And if we dream of a lot of things, but yes, if by the help of this particular technique, if we can realize our dreams, then why not to have that kind of technique in our curriculum as well? And I'm sure if the MOU has been extended, if things goes fine, then this kind of techniques can be installed among all the students of BPUT. Thank you so much, sir. You have closely observed the professional education ecosystems both within Odisha and across other states of India. How can NLP help students and professionals educated in Odisha become stronger contributors towards the vision of Samruddh Odisha? Because that is what the theme of this 2-day BPUT Industry Academia Conclave 2.0. So how do you put these things in the context of Samruddh Odisha?
This is a very interesting phenomenon, sir. I would like to give an example. I was doing a training for a company in Odisha. It so happened it was a 2-day training program. Day 1, my program got over, and they requested me to complete it before an hour. So 4 o'clock I left the team because there was a maintenance going on in the factory. Next day, in my training, 2 candidates did not come. They are young engineers. Then I inquired why these 2 people have not come. The team does not look cohesive. They say, sir, yesterday an incident. I told what it is. They told there was a problem in a machine, and the machine has been given, the maintenance has been with a company in Bombay. Their engineers came. When their engineers came, the young engineers who had joined there, their plant had told all of you, watch how the maintenance is happening. And then the engineer, what happened, he opened the machine. When he opened the casing of the machine, there was a wiring inside the machine, and the wiring was of some kilometers. And that looked like, and suddenly when that was being exposed, a student engineer over there, he became senseless. And then he was taken to hospital, then one associate like that, it happened. Then they told when the engineer came to say, asked, what happened? He told सर दैट जो वायर है ना ये मुझे पेट के अंदर जो होता है ना इससे मुझे दिखाई दिया तो सर मैं उसका ले नहीं पाया. So what it talks about, your brain sometimes is not aligned with the job you are doing. And therefore, you might have seen when students they join an institution, they go with a lifestyle. When they come initially, there is a entry phase. After that, they want to stabilize themselves in the institutions. Then they want to perform. Then they go for internship. They come back from the internship. And you might have observed, when students come back from internship, suddenly their behavior will change. And their interest towards academy will be reduced. Rather, they will be looking for something else. So that's why what happened. And then there is a placement preparatory. After that, there is a career. In these 6 phases, there are different kind of limitations students actually go through. So once there's an adjust problem, then there is a fear problem, then there is a peer pressure problem, then there is a corporate pressure problem, so many problems they experience. So even if their education certificate ready, sometimes what happens, their brain is not aligned to the reality they are going to expose. And with neuro-linguistic programming, there are many techniques which can actually help a person to be solid and do that. I will give you another example. I think the time is okay. I will give you another example. You might have taught decision making with your students by method of case studies. But you might have seen when you have told them the method of decision making, generally 4 stages ही रहती है. पहले प्रॉब्लम निकालो, डेफिनेशन निकालो, प्रॉब्लम डेफिनेशन करो, फिर ऑप्शंस निकालो, फिर ऑप्शंस को इवैल्यूएट करो, देन फाइनल डिसीजन कैसे इंप्लीमेंट हो गया वो सोचो. सो मोस्टली देयर आर 4 स्टेप्स. इसको हम कभी कभी 5 स्टेप्स 6 स्टेप्स बनाते हैं. बट स्टिल यू विल फाइंड students when take decisions they face problems, even in the case studies and in the real life. That's because we are academically telling them how to take decision, but there is in the brain to take any decision 4 things happens. This is called as TOT. First is called test, operate, test, exit. Suppose आप कोई होटल जाते हो, खाने से पहले आप एक मेनू मांगते हो. That is called test 1. Similarly, कोई भी डिसीजन लेते हैं ना, ब्रेन में 4 चीज फंक्शन होता है. इफ विथ एनएलपी वी कैन एस्टेब्लिश दैट पैटर्न, देन इट विल एक्चुअली टेक ए पर्सन टुवर्ड्स अ राइट डिसीजन. दैट्स व्हाई सर थिंग्स.
I mean, that's really wonderful. Sir, so many things you are saying. At this time, it is TOT. Test, operate, test, exit. You started talking about the Munster thinking. So, and initially you started with Mana Buddhi Achara. That is how you defined MBA. Yes, we are running short of time, but yes, we would love to have more and more interaction with you. So most of the last question of this particular podcast would be like this. Every leading institution eventually becomes known for certain distinctive strengths that define its identity, culture, and student outcomes. In your opinion, how can institutions systematically integrate NLP and behavioral capability development in a way that it becomes a long-term pillar of institutional excellence rather than merely an isolated training intervention? That's a very beautiful question, sir.
I think this question is really good.
I mean, essentially this question asks about how NLP can help an institute to establish its distinctiveness. It is just not mere a training intervention. Please, sir.
I will give a model that we have created, and wherever we are implementing, it is giving success. But before that model, I tell you, when I went to Bombay, I found there is a station called as Dadar station. And I also found local train में seat नहीं मिलता है. तो मैं corporate में training कर रहा था. They are into heavy metals. Bombay में training कर रहा था. I told participants, डर के आगे जीत है. This I think all of you have heard it. So then I told डर के आगे जीत है. उसके बाद मैं बोला डर के आगे जीत है. एक पार्टिसिपेंट ने सा हाथ उठाया. मैं बोला क्या हुआ? बोला सर दादर के आगे सीट है. मतलब लोकल ट्रेन में आपको दादर के आगे सीट मिलता है. When I heard that, that actually made me curious to think that people can have different connotations to the same statement. You might say something, I will pick it up the way I want. Similarly, if we would like to do NLP in the colleges in Orissa to make it Samruddh and Vikasit, there is a model. Whatever suits you, you really can pick it up. Okay, so there is no compulsion on that. First thing, yesterday sir was talking something very interesting called as minor paper. You can actually make NLP a minor paper because if you are teaching communications, if you are not teaching NLP, students are missing a big thing. Like suppose, can all of you try to raise your right hand? Try to raise your right hand. See, the question I told you is try to raise, isn't it? But what you did, you raised it. You did not try, right? Suppose I will say, now, is this no more try? Huh? Can you raise now? Can you raise now? You still raised, right? When I ask you, can you, the answer has to be yes or no. But you performed. Because there is a linguistic hidden behind it. This is called Milton linguistics. Milton linguistics says there are so many language patterns. If you use that, the other person will tell you yes.
Yes, sir.
So that's what you will find many leaders in different forums, they actually master Milton linguistics to drive positive growth in companies. So that's what we say first you can use as a minor paper. Second, if you find minor paper is going very good, students are showing interest, you can then look at something that is called as a lab. I was very happy to know ASTHA had something called as a OB lab. Similarly, you can have an NLP lab. In NLP lab, we will do experiments with the students, which are positive experiments, to see that how with NLP they can grow. Third thing that we can do is after that, all of you know something called as a capstone project. So we can actually run a project with NLP where people, they can actually take real life problems with themselves, they solve it. Because in one of the industries, in Odisha only, there was a power sector. In one of the factories who were doing NLP, they had a problem in the, you say that the conveyor belt that carries coal, there was a problem. They told, with NLP, can we do that? We say, yes. Then we engaged NLP and group process facilitation. There is something called GPF. With that, they actually created a prototype of the solution. They took it to the factory, and in our next visit, they saw, sir, this is magical. So that's why I say, whatever may be the problem, with NLP and assisted techniques, those can be solved. And if students can learn it real life here in the institutions, you will be very advanced in the competitive landscape. And that's why today Odisha is progressive. And I always visualize, because I am an Odia, I always have come back to Odisha to do whatever I really can do. And I want together, all of us must grow with the vision BPUT is carrying. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sir, since you said that you are from Odisha, you are an Odia, so I am asking this question in the mother tongue. Odia sir pacharibe apanku. That is, seta amar shesha prashna. Sir, apan bahut katha kahichanti, bahut guruttwapurna katha kahichanti, joda सब न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्राम रे इन्वॉल्वड अछि. आपण प्रिंसिपल ऑफ 7+-2 रो कथा कहिचंती, आपण मूनशॉट थिंकिंग रो कथा कहिचंती, आपण टोट रो कथा एबे कहिले, एबे एनएलपी लैब रो कथा कहउचंती, जहा कि इंस्टीट्यूट मानन को डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस एस्टैब्लिश करिवार हेल्प करिवो. आपण मिल्टन लिंग्विस्टिक रो कथा कहउचंती, बहुत गुरुत्वपूर्ण कथा निश्चित रे कहिचंती. आगामी दिन मानकरे जदि जो एमओ साइन हेछि जदि आसे तो निश्चित भाव में यूनिवर्सिटी अथॉरिटी मान पाखु इंस्ट्रक्शन आसिले ताकू इम्प्लीमेंट निश्चित भाव कर मु भी जन ओडिया सर मु जानापी चाहिए ये बहुत छात्र छात्री मैंने बसी आम देखुचु पिला माने इंजीनियरिंग पाठ हो कि मैनेजमेंट पाठ हो समहाउ से को मन रखुंट कि पिला मन रखुंट कि पिला बुझुंट कि पिला घोषिकी मन रखुंट कि पिला बुझिकी मन रखुंट से एक्सेल करुँच. आई एम ऑल्सो फादर सर बट ये जेनजी मानकर समय रे नेक्स्ट इज जेन अल्फा इज ऑल्सो देयर पिला माने किंतु सर रज महोत्सवर मुख्य उद्देश्य कौन से जानू ना. दुर्गाष्टमी कहीं पालन करा जाए सेटा पुओ किंबा झील से जानू ना किंतु दशहरा डीजे दरकार. कल्चरल डिग्रेडेशन तो निश्चित भाव होची. माणवसा गुरुवार आम मान समय माँ मैंने माणवसा गुरुवार को जो शुद्धता जो पवित्रता भक्तिर सहित करुले हूँ तो सेटा कमी आसी कहीं ओडिया संस्कृति जगन्नाथ संस्कृति कहले आम आपको ही सब बुझू एवं आम मानकर माँ मानकर जेनेरेशन रे सेटा जेते बढ़िया होउतला आम मान जेनेरेशन कमी आम मानकर पुओ झील मान जेनेरेशन से आहरी कमिजिव बोली मु भावुची. मु सर आपको जानापी चाहिए न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग जेहेतु से ब्रेन भितरे किछिटा बिहेवियरल मॉडिफिकेशन को आणुची जोटे कि माइंडसेट रे परिवर्तन आणुची एनएलपी एभली किछि करि परिबे कि जोंथरे ओडिया पिला माने सेमान तांकर रूट को सेमान तांकर संस्कृति को भलरे जानिबे हमको बहुत दुख लगे जे आमे बेसिक प्रश्न पचारू पिला माननकु पिला तर उत्तर देई पारंतनी आई थिंक आपण माने मधे निज घरे से प्रकार मधे प्रॉब्लम भी फेस करथुबे आम इन्स्टिट्यूट भी फेस करूँ मु जने बहुत भल मैनेजर हो पारे सर किंतु जितेबाला आम यूनिवर्सल ब्रदरहुड रो कथा कहूँ आम जितेबाला हायर एजुकेशन सहित स्पिरिचुअलिज्म को जोड़िकी कथा कहूँ मु जने भल मनीष था दरकार सर आदि मु मोर संस्कृति को जानी जमती जड़े सार कहते हिमाचल प्रदेश रे ओडिशा कहले कौटू सी जानी पारे ये गोटे अवक्षय चली सर आपको जदि आम एनएलपी मध्य कौटी रोकीदे पार मत लगुच सर एनएलपी रो ग्रहणीयता समस्त पाखे बोध आसीज
वेरी गुड मु क्विकली आंसर देवी बिकॉज वी आर क्लोजिंग सो आंसर हूँ काली सार गोटे बढ़िया कथा कहते आपड़ शुणी अमिया सार को सार काली कहते सिविल इंजीनियरिंग कैन वी स्टडी थ्रू कोणार्क टेम्पल दिस इज एक्चुअली वी से रूट एंड फ्रूट मेकानिज्म जदि आम रूट को आसिक देखा वी विल डेफिनेटली गेट फ्रूट सिमिलरली आपड़ देखिए जोटा आम कल्चर एवं डिग्रेडेशन हो कैन एनएलपी हेल्प एनएलपी कैन डेफिनेटली हेल्प एमती कौन सी जिनस ना जोटा एनएलपी करें इफ इट इज पॉसिबल एट ऑल देर आर 6 लेवल्स अच्छी जोटा ब्रेन भीतर आम कम करे न्यूरोलॉजिकल लेवल ता प्रथम लेवल हूँ एनवायरनमेंट जदि आम एनवायरनमेंट गोटे सेट करवा ता भीतर गोटे लोक जल्दी ताको मोटिवेट होकर काम करियो इफ एवरीबॉडी टॉक्स अबाउट पॉजिटिव आपन देखिए आपन नेगेटिव भी रही परिबे ना पॉजिटिव हे जिवे इफ एवरीबॉडी टॉक्स अबाउट नेगेटिव आपन पॉजिटिव हेले भी नेगेटिव हे जिवो सेटे फर्स्ट होजे सेटिंग अप एन एनवायरनमेंट ऑफ आवर कल्चर कैन वी डू एंड मते बहुत भल लागिला मु सुनिले जेतले काली बीपीयूटी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट ह्यूमन वैल्यूज सो इट इज एक्चुअली पुटिंग अप एन एफर्ट फॉर एनवायरनमेंट रो सेकंड लेवल टा हला बिहेवियर एक्शन ओनली एनवायरनमेंट मे नॉट हेल्प इफ यू डू नॉट टेक एन एक्शन So think of what culture specific actions we can take. Actions भी हबनी जते समय जे we are not trained, capability नथिबो तनके third neurological level होची capability. If you can do something where the capability can be strengthened there is a possibility but there is not 100% possibility. Fourth level होची मो भीतर capacity तो हे गला सेठी हम गोटे skill will matrix करू आमे देखो people are skilled but they are not willed because they do not believe it. So capacity पर fourth level है values and beliefs. If my values and beliefs support me, then I may take the action. But again, values and beliefs will not work if I do not identify with that self. I've seen lot of students, टिके आम कल्चर रू हटिवा सेमाने तो जाकि बाहर गोटे ओडिशार कल्चर को सेमाने एस्टाब्लिश करती सेमाने ता सहित आइडेंटिफाई करंतिनी बिलीव मी मु जोठी भी जाइछि आज पर्यंत बाहर इंडिया हो किंबा एब्रॉड हो आई ऑलवेज फील प्राइड टू टेल आई एम ए पर्सन फ्रॉम ओडिशा सो इफ आई एम मिसिंग दैट आइडेंटिटी then you know we really cannot hold the culture together. Tapra identity will also not let you do. Final stage is called purpose. जदि मो purpose रे मो life रे जहाँ करियो चाहूँ सेत्रे मो culture integrate नहीं मो करी परिबे नहीं तेणु करी answer is definitely possible if we can do all these things together जोड़ा को हमें other आमर language रे हमें ताको ecosystem.
सर अपन 6टी पॉइंट कथा कहिछन प्रथम पॉइंट तला environment second द्वितीयटा थिला
second environment behavior then capability, then values, beliefs, identity and mission.
And okay, so we'll put an end to this particular podcast and I really thank you from the bottom of my heart.
So
thank you so much sir for answering all these questions and I'm not required to sum up the discussion which you've made, but yes, I am sure as an academician we're sure we'd like to practice all these things in day-to-day life provided we know details about all those things. We are really helpful to Dr. Mangesh Das, Managing Director of CHDNLR Mumbai, for talking about principle 7 plus minus 2, then moonshot thinking, TOT as a principle, having NLP lab institutes, Milton linguistic, and these 6 parameters for which we can of course stop the cultural degradation in the states. Thank you so much sir. With folded hands I would like to express our thankfulness to you from the entire organizing committee. At the same time I must take this opportunity to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor sir for allowing to have this kind of podcast here in the BPUT Industry Academia Conclave 2.0. Thank you so much, sir. With this note, I hand over the session to anchor Professor Ananya. Ma'am, please. Madam.
Thank you so much to both the resource person and the moderator for such an amazing podcast session. Let's have a huge round of applause. May I now request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Amay Kumar Rath sir, to kindly grace the dais, and let's do the felicitation. First of all, I would like to request Vice Chancellor sir to felicitate Dr. Mangesh Das, the resource person, Managing Director of CHDNLR, Mumbai. Let's have a big round of applause as the Honorable Vice Chancellor is showing his gestures to Dr. Mangesh Das. Let's have a huge round of applause. And now we have the moderator of this particular podcast session, Professor Jinasis Mohanty, Dean, Training and Placement of ASTHA School of Management. The moderator of this magnificent podcast session by Professor Jinasis Mohanty as the moderator. Let's have a big round of applause to all the esteemed dignitaries on the dais. Requesting for a photograph. Thank you so much, all the dignitaries. You may please take the seats off the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, we now will take a short break for 10 minutes. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation in this session so far. It will be a short tea break. We will resume the session sharply at